Missouri has a very nice trio of amusement parks, and within them you can find some awesome roller coasters. What is up, guys? It is Coasters and Things here today, and in this video, I'm going to be counting down what are my 10 favorite roller coasters in the state of Missouri. I just recently went back to Missouri and have now been to all 3 major parks in the state. You can find these roller coasters at Silver Dollar City, Six Flags St. Louis, and Worlds of Fun. Before I jump into the list though, I want to highlight 5 coasters as honorable mentions. These include Screamin' Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis, Batman the Ride at Six Flags St. Louis, Timberwolf at Worlds of Fun, Zambezi Zinger at Worlds of Fun, and Thunderation at Silver Dollar City. These are all fun rides that just didn't quite make the cut for this list. Now let's get into the top 10. Just barely making the list at number 10 is Patriot at Worlds of Fun. This B&M invert doesn't quite have as much force as some of the others out there do, but it is still a very enjoyable ride. It's very smooth, has good pacing, and is very re-rideable. The Helix does pull some good forces though. You feel it in your legs on that moment. As with all inverts, the front row is the row to experience on Patriot. Number 9 is The Boss at Six Flags St. Louis. This is consistently one of the most polarizing coasters out there. People either love this CCI Woody or hate it. No in between. I'm one of those people that really loves it. It's super intense and has some crazy laterals. Now it isn't the smoothest, it is pretty rough, but if you just avoid marathoning it, you should be alright. The one thing that knocks this coaster down though is that it runs with Gerstlauer's wooden coaster trains, which aren't nearly as good as the traditional PTC trains. However, if you can look past the trains, the Boss really is insane. Number 8 is Wildfire at Silver Dollar City. This is my favorite B&M in the state of Missouri, and it is one of their sit-down loopers. This one often gets overlooked when comparing it to Kumba and Hulk. Is it as intense as Kumba or Hulk? No, but I actually think that works in its favor. It brings just the right amount of force to make it re-rideable, whereas Kumba and Hulk are loaded with positive Gs that cause you to constantly gray out. Wildfire also is very smooth, and in the back, the drop is surprisingly amazing. This is a very strong looping coaster. Number 7 is Powder Keg, also at Silver Dollar City. Now, I sadly have only gotten to ride this coaster once. It was at night during my first visit to the park, but I remember that ride very well. The air-compressed launch sends you back into your seat. Also, the pacing on this ride leading up to the lift hill is very consistent. It is also surprisingly smooth, considering it used to be a water coaster. The history of this ride is about as weird and wacky as the ride itself is. Powder Keg is so underrated. It doesn't get talked about enough. Number 6 is American Thunder at Six Flags St. Louis. This is a GCI wooden coaster, and while it may be on the smaller side for GCIs, it packs a nice punch to it. Lots of good airtime, it's relatively smooth, and as with most GCIs, it has very nice pacing. It used to be called Evel Knievel and got renamed to American Thunder, which I think is a very cool name. This is the coaster I rode the most the day I went to Six Flags St. Louis. It's a very solid GCI. Making the top 5 is Mamba at Worlds of Fun. This was the most surprising coaster out of all 10 of these to me. Before this, my experiences with Morgan coasters were real up and down. Worlds of Fun dampened the mid-course trims on it a lot this year, and as a result, it runs so fast now in the second half of the ride. You float up out of your seat a lot as a result. I had heard that third row was the magic seat, but I actually thought third to back was the magic seat. I wish the other Morgan hypercoasters ran like Mamba. What a great ride this was. Number 4 is Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast at Six Flags St. Louis. This is probably the most intense of all the coasters on this list. You launch at 70 miles per hour backwards. I don't know of another coaster that has a backwards launch that fast. It is insane. You get shoved into the restraint in front of you. You go up an inverted top hat, which has amazing hang time, then proceed to go up a 200-foot spike, and then do it all over again forwards. All the while you are feeling the intensity. This is currently my favorite Premier Rides coaster, and has easily the best backwards launch on any coaster that I've experienced. Now we are at the top 3, and I really had to think hard about these. These are all so good. Any one of these 3 could be the number 1 coaster in Missouri at any given day, just as much as the other 2 could. but after thinking about it, I have the order. At number 3, I have Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. Let me tell you, the first time I rode this, I was so disoriented I didn't know what to think. Now that I've ridden it more, I've grown to love this coaster more and more. Imagine taking a 90-degree drop sideways. Well, on Time Traveler, you can. In addition, you got 3 inversions and surprisingly good launches. It is now my favorite coaster by Mach Rides. This coaster is also glass smooth and so re-rideable. By far one of the most unique coaster experiences on Earth, and for sure my favorite spinning coaster as of 2023. At number 2 is Prowler at Worlds of Fun. Going into this GCI, I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't expect it to be this good. First off, all my rides on it were at night. This is the fastest paced GCI I've ever ridden. It flies through the woods and never lets up till it hits the final brakes. In addition, you got good airtime and some good laterals too. Prowler definitely is superior to American Thunder for GCIs in the state of Missouri. This ride doesn't get talked about nearly enough. It is so amazing. Prowler is definitely a top wooden coaster and one of my top woodies now. Coming in at number 1, this should be no surprise to anyone. It is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. Even after experiencing this ride again, I still think it is the best coaster in Missouri. Non-stop action from the moment you leave the lift hill. You got 3 inversions, including the killer double barrel roll finale. You also got a fantastic wave turn and lots of great airtime moments. It is pretty rough for an RMC, but not nearly bad enough to ruin the ride. Outlaw Run is so fantastic. It makes my top 25 roller coasters I've ridden, period. This is why I have Outlaw Run as my favorite coaster in Missouri. What are your favorite roller coasters in the state of Missouri? How much do you agree or disagree with my list? I'd love to hear your opinions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Coasters and Things, signing out.
I'm a roller